I ever do to you?
Hello, hello, hello. So I want to try to take a look at equipment and crafting Overhaul ECO. This mod has gone through a few different versions, but I think it is pretty much settled down. And I've been using it a lot lately, and I really like it. I'm going to go through just what I consider to be the basics of the mod. There may be some more detailed, or I guess I don't mean it like nitpicky, but there may be some more smaller, minutia that you can get into. But I don't want to spend hours and hours. I really just kind of want to give you, a general rundown on what this does for you. So it is still going to take some time, even just doing that, because I'm going to have to go through quite a bit of stuff. But I think it's worthwhile. This was a mod that someone pointed out to me, and rats, I've forgotten who it was now, and I apologize for that. But nonetheless, and so I gave it a whirl, and I liked what I could do with it. I love the way that you can modify vanilla items with this, and you can give them, some things that they wouldn't normally have, some stats and stuff. That makes them much more usable and fun for me. And then, too, you can also use this at least on some other mod items. I have used this to add some things to mod weapons and clothing. Now, you may not always be able to do that because some mods may be more particular than others. But so far, this has interacted well with especially the vanilla game items, but also with weapons and clothing from other mods. It's done well. Again, you may find exceptions. You may find times when it doesn't work, or that you can't use it on a particular modded item or weapon. I haven't hit that yet, but I just, I'm just thinking that some items, some mod items or weapons may contain settings or things that I'm not aware of that would conflict. But so far, I've not run into anything like that. It's either worked and been able to be used, or I think, have I run into any case where I couldn't use it? I don't think there's any case where I couldn't at least upgrade the weapon to some degree through this mod. And I'm looking at mainly weapons, but also clothing and items. Now, there may be some exceptions I'm not thinking of. Nonetheless, there's actually quite a bit to do with this mod. So this mod is brought to us by Dankraft. Now, in this case, I believe this is really their mod. I did not see where they ported it. They try to give you, you'll notice here, whereas people say they cannot give you a good description of a mod, you'll notice here they do give you some good basic information on the mod, which I really appreciate. That's really all I need. So that's wonderful. And then the size of this mod is about 21 megabytes. It's not very big, and yet it allows you, me, I like cheaty mods. This is a cheaty mod. It allows you to really add some stuff to your equipment, and it makes some of that clothing that you normally couldn't wear because it wouldn't have very much defense or anything. It allows you to add some weave and different things to it to make it better. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this in the game. It does have some new workbenches, so I need to show you the universal workbench. I think that's worthwhile. It allows you to add a lot of stuff to your armor and clothing. You can add legendary stats and things to your armor and weapons, or clothing and weapons, however you want to say that. And then, like here they say it doesn't require patches for other mods. And it works right out of the box as long as the item you want to modify sports the vanilla legendary attachment point. And I think that's the case where sometimes there may be some modded items that this mod will not interact with. Now, I've not found anywhere it crashes, but there may be times where you find something that it doesn't interact with because it doesn't the mod item doesn't have these attachment points or whatever. So, but it allows you to be really quite cheaty. But you can also, it does allow you, besides being cheaty and making yourself stronger, as far as your weapons go, I think it can also allow you to turn down the damage on your weapon. So it's something to look at and think about. It does have its own naming convention on the items, if you notice that down at the bottom. So it does have a naming convention that it follows, and you'll notice when you modify things with this that it changes the name of the item in a particular way. It does have this quick gun modification, which I haven't really been using, but you can. I just haven't been using that because I haven't really felt a need to, but that may be something that you would really enjoy, the fact that you could do that on the fly. So let's hop into the game and let's try to go through this piece by piece, and this may be a little longer show than normal. And this is just to get through the basics. I think there's probably some more detailed things you could get into with this as well. So I'll see you in the game in a moment. All right, so here we are. You might recognize this place. This is the little Cabot player home. It's an easy place to come here and show you some things, because you can't really do the workshop stuff in the cheat room, which I wish you could, but you can't. So anyway, I just created a real quick armor workbench, weapons workbench, and a chemistry station. Now, first, let me show you what's on the chemistry station for the equipment and crafting overhaul. Now, these are to give you some quick modifications and to set up a workbench and things of this nature. This is to do some settings. And here are some other universal things that you can do. Now, the legendary microchips, I forget what that's. Oh, I remember what that's for now. We will make some of those. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and make some of those now. I'm just going to do a bunch real fast, because we will need those later. Universal workbench. I'm not sure. Can I make that right here? Let's see what happens. I'm not sure where that ends up being, or how that worked. Is that in my inventory now? That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that that would be there, but there it is. So let's hit. I clicked A, nothing happened. Okay. I'm not sure what oh, drop. Let's drop it. Okay, I see. So you could have this and actually carry it with you and use it. The universal workbench allows you to create and modify. Now, it's not exactly the same as the chem station unless you use the chem station. Do you see the difference here? This will allow you to create some armor, and it gives you some various different things. Now, this does not interact with, I use FreeMaker. This does not interact with FreeMaker. You'll actually be required to have ingredients. But it's still a great thing. Now, wait, do I want to exit the station? Well, yeah, I guess I do. Now, this is the only bad thing, is it didn't take me to that upper menu. So let's go back into it again. Now, you can carry this workbench with you, okay? So that's the idea. You can also modify your armor. Like if I wanted to modify Jenny's stuff, I could do that here. I'm not going to, but I could. I could come in and change her shielded lining to just be protective, and vice versa. Anyway, this is a universal workbench. It just, you still have to get in and out of it to get to the different selections, but it allows you to do things. You can create weapons. Now, I don't think this is going to show, like, for instance, let's see if this lists. No, this does not list my mod weapons, okay? Because I have some special mod weapons that I've been using, and it doesn't list those, okay? But it does list, looks like it lists all the vanilla stuff, okay? All right, so that's that. However, if you activate this, and let's say that you want to do something mod related, then you go into the chem station. Now here, you'll notice BLR pilot. All my mod stuff is here. Free maker, I can make stuff for free here. Let's see, let me find my other mod. Well, the invisible armor stuff, that's mod stuff. That's from a mod. Peacekeeper, that's from a mod that I haven't done yet. This is also, all this is mod related here. This MCX, I haven't done that yet. The SIG. So, but these are all mod related things. And you can, again, using the chem station through this universal workbench, you can do all these things. Now I'm going to pick this up. And it went right back into my inventory. See? But you can always just drop it and use it anywhere you are. There is another option, though. Let me pick this back up. I want you to see this. When you're building your settlement, if you want to just have a stationary universal, just go to crafting. Let me exit out of that. That's the menu hung up on me. Now, the menu can hang up on you sometimes anyway, so I'm not going to blame that on this mod. That can happen. This menu, you know, occasionally gets a little wonky. So anyway, and I've not had any problems using this mod, so I'm not going to blame anything on this mod, especially not at this point. But you can make your own stationary universal workbench right here. I'm just going to put it here. Plop. Now it works exactly the same as what we were doing with that one that you can carry around in your inventory. But you'll notice it's stationary. You can't pick it up unless you're in the build menu, in which case then you can move it around, but you still can't really pick it up. And notice you don't have a packing up option. So this is not a mobile version of this. I just want you to be aware. But it still works exactly the same. So that's two cool things about this mod. Let me out of the menu? Thank you. You know how that menu is. Sometimes it doesn't let you out. Alright, so I showed you those two things. Let's go back to the chem station for a minute. Let's see if there's something else. Now this, I haven't played around with this PA workbench or the quick modification. I'm just going to be straight up with you on that. I haven't played with that. The settings, did I look at this? I think I looked at this. Let's take a look at these things. Alright. Oh, that's a power armor workbench. So this is a quick setup. This is probably one. Let's see if we can carry that with us. I haven't played with that either. I'm betting we can just carry that with us. Let's hop out and see what these things do for us. Now this is a little experimentation, okay? Because I've played around with a lot of stuff in this mod, but I'm not going to say everything. Now here you can go into ECO settings. And you can change some things about the mod. I usually just use the mod the way it is. However, they give you some options. You can globally disable and enable base features. Now, all these are enabled right now. The unscrappable thing is the one thing I would probably disable, because after all this time, I really don't care about that option. I don't really use that. I like having the legendary slots, though additional legendary slots maybe that should be disabled for me, because I don't usually use all the legendary slots. I like having the armor and gun options. That's a big deal to me. Same with the melee. The power armor, I guess I haven't been using the power armor. As you know, I don't use power armor a lot. And then there's slots config here. Let's see what this is. Okay, and so this is where you can enable and disable certain features, like the jump modifier, the protection modifier, this miscellaneous. etc., etc. So these are definitely options you can turn off and on if you don't use them. This is something, again, I've not played around with this a lot because I've wanted to see all the options, but it's nice to be able to come in here and say, hey, I want to turn some of these options off because I don't care anything about them. And that's fine. This makes this a very flexible mod for you, which is very cool. So that's a very nice thing. Let's see, let's hop out. Okay, so that's just that part. Then there's recipe config. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to get into here, so let's find out. Again, I haven't gone into all this. Okay, move base recipes to the utility station. Disable chem recipes. So you could disable some of these if you wanted to. I don't feel the need to disable any of that. You never know when I might be interested in it. So, legendary recipe config. Okay, so you could disable custom legendaries. So, yeah, I would just, myself, I would just leave this on for now, but that's up to you. When you first, matter of fact, when you first get this, you should probably try the base mod just the way it is. Then once you get used to it, come in and turn off any of the things you don't want or don't use, just to kind of make it a little cleaner for you. Notice there's a config for the workbench, which is great. The mobile workbench, which is the one I showed you, the mobile workbench, you know, pickup config. Okay, so these are good things you can, oh, you could enable or disable some of the stations, because I don't use all the stations, honestly. Mainly, I like the chem station, and then I like the weapon modify and armor modify. That's what I use the most. So I could turn off a lot of those, and that would be fine. What about this pickup config? What about this? So I guess this just means whether or not you can. The options below allow the toggling the display of the external pickup key when hovering the workbench model. Okay, so this would make it to whether or not you could actually pick it up or not and use it in your, you know, in your inventory. Like I use that one. That one is kind of mobile. So this would allow you to change that. Okay. All right, so that is the basics of this. Now you can go in, you can change legendary injection and things like that. Let's see what this says. Important readme. By injecting more effects to that pool, the less likely you'll get a specific desired legendary. Oh, okay. By using the legendary injector feature, will be added to the legendary effect loot pool. Okay, so I read it. I'm probably not going to mess with that because when something comes with that many cautions, it makes me think I don't want it. Quick modification config. So this just allows you to change things on the fly if you wanted to. And cheat and debug options. Okay. So you see there's a lot of options here and a lot of flexibility here. So next we need to get into some of these other things. We've looked at the bench here. Like if we drop the power armor bench, it's going to be like the other one. It allows you to pick it up and carry it with you. I can't craft because I don't think I don't have any suit of armor to go with it, so I'm just going to pick it back up. All right, so since we've looked at the way you can modify the settings and different things for this mod, which is quite extensive, and I'm sure I did not cover everything, but I just tried to give you, again, the basics so you could look at that and see that you can turn certain things off and on. You can streamline the mod to suit you. All right, let's move on. I'm going to go back here to the chemistry station. Now the BR pilot, I'm going to show you something on it, because she wears that all the time, right? The problem with it is normally in the workbench, that outfit does not even show up. Because it doesn't show up, I really can't do anything with it. It does not have the settings or the parameters on it that would allow me to modify it. So this is one of those outfits that does not interact with ECO at all. Okay, I can't find any way to modify the BOR pilot. You make it in the chem station, and it's what it is. You can't even rename it or do anything with it. However, I just like the look of this outfit, and I know there have been a lot of people who have also liked the look of this outfit, and the mod is very simple and very nice. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that you may have items like this, mod items, that can't be interacted with. All right, let's go down here and let's just make something else. For instance, army fatigues are fine. Let's do the captain's hat and the fatigues. This will probably be just as good an example as anything else. So let's put that on Jenny. Put her hat on and her fatigues. Ta-da! Now these, of course, are being modified by the Mary Jane mod, so don't worry about the appearance of it so much. That isn't what matters. So that's what it looks like. Now, you could use the universal workbench, and you could come here and say, okay, I want to modify this. Now you could also do this over at the armor workbench, but I just want to show you that you can do this at the universal workbench. And you could throw it down from your inventory. Hold on, let me just show you. You could, if you're out in the field and you know you're busy and you're like, well, I don't want to go back and deal with whatever. Like, I don't want to go back to my settlement or whatever. Then you could just drop your workbench wherever you are. Yay. And use it. And let's say we take the captain's hat. Now, I don't remember if this captain's hat normally has the weave. I think it does. But let's just say we're going to give it... Do I care? Why would I want... That looks kind of weird. Institute Killer Weave. I think I would just rather have this hybrid weave. Anyway, legendary slots. This is where you can have legendary slots. You can say, I don't want any legendaries on this item. And there's a couple of different ways to do it. This adds the unscrappable option. Or you can do user legendaries like this. This is what I usually do. Then you can select how many legendary slots you have. I'm going to give it 5. Let's go 5 legendary slots. And then you have scrap options and equipment enhancement options. This hat is basically armor. Now, if you were wearing power armor, or if this was power armor, you could give it power armor options. You could probably give it power armor options anyway, but I don't know if that'll work for you so well. We're giving it, let's just try it. Oh, okay, this gives you certain, so you can even give it power armor options. I don't know. It seems kind of weird, but you can do it. So that's not normally what I do. I usually, you can increase your protection up to 500%. So that's good. Jump height modifier, you can come in. You want to be careful because fall damage still applies and you can get yourself killed. So you want to be careful with that. Some of the legendary attachments here, let's see what our options are. Okay, you have to have, there's this perk that I don't see that is actually in the game this legendary specialist. That's why I might turn the legendaries off, because I think this is something they haven't really added into the mod yet. You see where it's locked, legendary specialist. So I don't see a way to turn that on yet, even though I have the chips I need because I made a bunch of chips. So we'll have to look at that in a moment. Matter of fact, well, let's just treat this as if it's a normal. Oh, I messed up. I apologize for that. So anyway, let's go ahead and pick that up. We don't need that. And like I said, you can do this at the armor bench if you preferred. But if you're out in the field and you wanted to have that, you could definitely do that. Where you can just drop it and do it right there. Now I'm going to change this. I'm going to send it back to normal power options or armor options, because that's really what this hat, that's what I'm making this hat. You can give it a secondary thing here. And what I like to do is, like, I give it cushioned because it reduces fall damage. And it doesn't say, so I'm not 100% sure if it stacks, but I think it might. And if you use that, and then if you used the jetpack, it seems to me like you would be able to fly and have the jetpack. Now this is on the hat, which maybe putting that on the hat doesn't make sense. Maybe we should put that on the fatigues. We could do that. We could put that on the fatigues. You could do the hacking module, the recon module. You can do any of these little options. So on this one, let's just put the hacking module for fun. Protection modifier, I'm going to go ahead and crank up the resistance for us. Now it doesn't show in the stats over there as far as the damage resistance, but I do believe it works. And then this, if your item did not have the ballistic weave option, you could actually add it here. You could actually come in and add it. And sometimes you have to play with this and try the different options. This one already has that ballistic weave slot, and you don't really want to duplicate it because it looks weird and it just seems odd. So I don't. You can, but I don't. That seems odd to me. So let's come into the fatigues for a minute. Now that comes with the ballistic weave, so we're going to go back and give her that. Now I'm going to give her, you know what? I'm going to give her legendaries, even though we haven't figured out the legendary specialist part. We're going to look at that. And then I'm just going to give her 5 legendaries in case we wanted to utilize that. The scrap option I'm really not using. I don't worry about that. I should turn that off in the settings. But now this is armor. I'm going to give it armor options. Again, I'm going to come down and give her cushioned and hope that does the fall damage. And here I'm going to do the jetpack because it makes more sense to me that the jetpack would be on the actual fatigues. Let's see. We'll leave her this other stuff. She's fine. So there. That's just taking and modifying some vanilla. Yeah, you can do the jetpack. Hold on a second. Let's pause this for a minute. I'm going to do a quick save because I'm probably going to kill her. Let's go outside for just a moment. Alright, now that we're out here, I would have preferred a daytime thing, but this will have to do. Nighttime is still cool. Alright, let's send her up in the air. There, she's got like the jetpack. Oh, well, okay. It didn't take her too high. But if you don't use the, the cheat jump like I do, then you can do the T-pose jetpack. But it isn't. Notice it is a T-pose. See? But it didn't kill her, so it's okay. Just something to be aware of. Alright, so back to where we were. Now, let's make... I want to make a weapon and do something similar to what we were just doing, but show it for... Let's just take... do we want to use the assault rifle? it probably doesn't matter what we use. I'm going to go with the assault rifle. We'll just use that. Okay. So now once you've made your item, you can go to the weapons workbench or the universal bench. It won't matter. You can choose to modify it either way. Okay, so here it is. We could modify it there, but you can also modify it here. And you can choose whatever you want to use as far as your receiver and stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and soup it up. You can do scopes or whatever you want. I don't think I really want a scope. Do a muzzle if you want. Alright, but here we're hitting, now we're hitting, this is all normal stuff up here. Then we hit here, this is the ECO part. And you want to choose the user so that then you get all the other options. Okay, same as with the armor or the clothing, if I wasn't clear. You want to choose the user so that it will open up all the options. And then you have the option of adding the slots. We still don't have that working. I mean, if we look at that, because we don't have the legendary specialist open. So we'll look at that in a minute in some of the other settings and see if we can do something with that. Here, we're going to go into gun options. Now, if you had a melee weapon, you could add melee options. We will look at that in a minute too. But I'm going to do gun options. Now here, you can increase your damage up to 500%. And you'll notice it actually shows over in the damage the change. And you can reduce the damage if you wanted. Like here's the default damage. And then that increases it. But you can reduce the damage if you want to make things harder. Minus 100%. You know, it's not really subtracting 100%, or the damage would say 0, but it's still much less damage. So you get the idea. So anyway, you can make it really powerful if that's what you want. You can change the firing mode if you don't like. What's the receiver we're using? Okay, it's automatic, okay? So this is a fully automatic weapon. But if your weapon did not have fully automatic and you wanted fully automatic, you could change it with the firing mode. You could also make it semi-automatic if that's what you preferred. But I want you to notice here it says, use with caution, can have unwanted effects depending on the gun you're modifying. And the same here. I would say not to probably use these since it could have bad effects, but it's an option that you could experiment with and try. I haven't tried it myself because I tend to, it's like this, the rate of fire modifier. You can make it fire even faster, but that's so fast. Let's just try it, but that's so fast you're going to run out of ammo. This is ammo conversion, so that you can use different ammo on the fly. It doesn't change your damage, but like if you ran out of one type of ammo and you wanted to use another, you would have that option. And this is so you can do that kind of on the fly if you're like out of ammo. I don't typically use it, but you could. Now this is to make things look different. And this says faster and fastest. So let's try for fun Alien Blue and just see what that looks like, because we're going to try this gun for fun. This, you can change your reload speed. I played around with this. You can make it look like where the reload speed happens so fast it's like a blip. It's just a blip if you go like with this. So we'll try that. It'll be very fast. This is an accuracy cone modifier. It just makes your You know how Fallout is. Even when you aim directly at somebody and you have them dead to rights, sometimes it says you miss, okay? This will just, eliminate, you have less missing. But you can also have more missing, make it harder on yourself. That reduces your accuracy. And this should improve your accuracy, even though I don't think it's correctly reflected over there. Oh, wait, this means it's less accurate. Okay, so this means it's less accurate. Higher values mean less accurate. So the lower values, this means it's more accurate. This is your best accuracy. I know, it's backwards of what I was thinking too. Nonetheless, I'm not going to play with that because it's too strange for me. I just don't want to deal with it. This is recoil. If you wanted to reduce your recoil, this one doesn't say. I'm assuming that this is less recoil. I don't usually mess with that. Now, range, of course, you can add to your range. See, the range is 161, and then you just increase your range, and you can get your range pretty far out there. Let's go ahead and do that just for fun. We'll do the range modifier. And then the zoom, I don't usually do this, but you can do a zoom. And it can get pretty rough. 30 is a lot. It gets crazy. So I'm not going to do any zoom, but you can do it, and it's like you have a scope. I mean, I'm sure you understand what that is. This is the transition speed. If you're doing that, that sided thing, this just, speeds that up or slows it down. I'm just going to leave that alone. I don't want to freak my eyeballs out. All right, so we're going to have her, let's see, use the gun. Okay. See, it's shooting blue, even though it's using the proper ammo. See how fast the reload was? Let me go first person. Did you see that reload? That was so fast. And you're blazing through the ammo. So, I mean, this is, see that? Did you see that reload? Look, it's so fast. So, you can really make things crazy if you wanted. It's purely up to you. I found that reload speed to be too fast. I did not like that. However, I like the idea that you're shooting blue rays. And now remember, we turned the rate of fire up to a crazy amount. Okay? So, don't forget that. We can go back and make that a little better by simply, I mean, to me, I don't mind having the extra damage and stuff. I'm pretty cheaty, but this rate of fire is just too much. So I'm going to take it back down. And the reload speed, I'm going to take that back down. Now we're going to play around with one thing. We're going to do the zoom modifier, and let's do a 3 zoom. And let's make this transition 100%, okay? Alright, so first of all, now it's firing at a more steady rate. The reload takes a second. That looks more normal. Let's go first person. See, there's the reload. Oh, the reload. Okay, wait just a minute. It was still a little janky, wasn't it? Yeah, that's funny. Nonetheless, it's okay. And then there, see the zoom? And notice how fast it transitions. So you can get a fast transition and shoot. If that's what you want. Personally, I don't like the zoom. That's why I don't use the scope. I prefer not to use the scope. The only time I want to have a scope and zoom is when I'm doing, let's say I'm doing a sniper and I actually am sniping. That's the only time. Alright, so that's some fun stuff you can do with your weapons. let's see, and some stuff you can do with your armor. Now, these same things work. Let me show you. I'm just going to do this. Oh, wait, this is the wrong thing. My apologies. This was the wrong thing. These same options will show up on your cheat, on your mod weapons. Look here. This is a weapon that I modded. Hold on a second. Okay, and I'm going to choose user legendaries. Now when I do that, it'll give me the other options. It'll give me the legendary slots. And this is a mod weapon. This is not a vanilla weapon. And then you have all of these. You have the scrap option. You have the enhancement option. And I'm going to go gun options. Now, the gun options is going to give me another damage modifier. And notice that it does work and apply to the damage you're doing. This is just going to make this pistol even more deadly. So, gun options. Now, then I could change my firing mode. I like my semi-automatic. And this rate of fire, I'm not going to change that stuff. I could change the ammo if I wanted. And the projectile overload. I could shoot green if I wanted. Let's just switch to that pistol. See? So you can make these modifications even to mod weapons. It doesn't really change the weapon overall. It just changes that graphic option there. Okay? But nonetheless, this is a mod weapon. This is a mod weapon. This is not a vanilla weapon. So it shows that you can do that. I don't think I did. Did I do anything to this? Let me look here. Yeah, see, you can tell I haven't done it yet. But if I choose to go this route, I can make this weapon even more tremendous. Let's do this. Hold on. Equipment option. Oh, we're going to go gun option again. And then you get extra damage. I mean, this is super cheaty, okay? Look how powerful the damage is on this weapon now. It is super cheaty. So if you do that, I mean, make sure you realize what you're doing. But if you just want to blow everything away all the time, it does work. And it might work good for Jenny since she's always doing shows. And here I didn't change the, hold on a second, let's switch to the rifle. I didn't change the appearance at all. So, and I didn't change the animation or anything, so okay. Alright, so that's the basics as far as being able to change things on your armor and your weapons. I'm trying to think. Seemed like there was something else we wanted to look at. Okay, so this is quick modification. Oh, hold on a second. I have to put that on a key. Let's just put it here. That'll be fine. Alright, so it comes up, and this allows you on the fly to make certain changes to your weapon. Like if you wanted to change the ammo, or the firing mode, or the sight zoom, or what's ADS? Oh, that's your transition. That's that sighted transition speed. If you want to, if you've tried a setting and you didn't like it, you'd be able to change that. So this is stuff you can do on the fly, out running around. You don't even need to drop the table. So that's really a very convenient thing. Anything else? I think we've covered most everything. Let's try, is this another one? Okay, this is your power armor workbench. And for some reason, you need to put that on a hotkey. So let's see what that does. Oh, well that just drops it. Well, okay, I don't really need that because I could already drop that out of my inventory. That's funny. Yeah, because you can already just drop it right out of your inventory right here. Just see, Ta-da. So you don't really need that. So that's one thing you don't need. You can use it if that's more to your liking. If that's how you prefer things to be, you could definitely work that. Use that, I mean, but I probably wouldn't. Whereas this, you might use on the fly while you're testing your weapon and you're saying, well, let me try some different things out and see what I like. So that I understand. I haven't been using some of this. I've been using just the basics to upgrade my armor and weapons when I feel like it. And you'll see that in my game with Faith. I think I've upgraded a lot of her stuff using this mod, so she's pretty cheaty, but it's pretty fun. Now, the legendaries part and opening the legendaries perk, I didn't see anything here that tells us about that. Let's go back to ECO settings for a minute. Legendary injection. Okay, so here we go. Let's find out. Pick only one option and activate it once. This is custom and this is custom. What's custom? Legendary effects. Oh, okay, so I injected custom. Okay, that was not enough explanation. Let's go back to the README. All custom legendary effects will be added. Okay, but it seems like it has to be a drop. Okay, so let me check on. They didn't add anything here, as near as I could tell, that has anything to do with legendary, so let's go back here. Let's try this for a minute. Let's go back to our hats. Yeah, see, it still hasn't opened up the legendary specialist, so I don't know how to open that up. I'm just going to admit it. They don't really tell you how to open that up. So, unfortunately, there's not a clear-cut way to do that, to actually take advantage of these legendaries. And I'm just not sure how to open the legendary specialist up. They don't give you an explanation of it. Even if I found one of these mods, I would not be able to use it at this time because of that required rank, and yet I don't see that legendary specialist being something that I can do. So that's too bad, but I can't really do anything about that. I don't know if that's something they're going to add into the mod later or what. But ignoring that, even if you don't use all the legendary stuff, just being able to use the weapon and armor enhancements itself is very good and is quite a bit of fun. So, all right, let's hop out and take a look at the mod again. All right, so this has been Equipment and Crafting Overhaul, about 21 megabytes. I forgot the modder's name, but nonetheless, we showed that early on. It's a very good mod. I'm sure that I have shown you the basics, but I still feel like there's probably more that you could do and look at there. I was just trying to show you the basics of how to get started and use this and how you can do different things with it. I'm sure you will find even more stuff that I didn't think to show or didn't notice myself. My only real issue with the mod, and they don't really explain this, is how to get the legendary perk to work. But you can disable that if you don't want to use that anyway. But it's too bad that they don't give you that. I don't see a way to unlock that legendary perk to actually be able to do some of those. Because I would like to do them just for fun, In the end, I may end up turning off the legendary stuff just because I don't care that much about it. But still, a very good mod, very, very fun. You can use it to make your game harder instead of easier. So just something to be aware of. It's pretty flexible, and you can change a lot of the settings. So not much to complain about here. Very cool overall. Now you may find some items like the BLR pilot. It doesn't have any of the necessary settings or parameters set so that it could interact with this mod. So this mod just ignores it and doesn't do anything with it, which is fine. That means no crash, no problem. Just it chooses to ignore each other and they just don't work together. I don't see a problem with that. That's fine. So just something to be aware of. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later. So I want to acknowledge these people who donate to the channel, who support the channel. They put their money where their mouth is, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you to these folks, and thank you to everyone for watching and supporting the channel. This has been an OwwThatSmarts production.
So long, farewell.